99% women like this penis the most. Yeah, I know, the title made you sit up. Maybe lean forward a little. Maybe blush. But here's the thing, you already know I'm not just talking about anatomy. We're going to go way deeper than that, because this is not about what you've been told in locker rooms, magazines, or clickbait articles. You've been fed this idea that women are all obsessed with size, or shape, or some ridiculous standard that some faceless marketing department invented to make you feel insecure and buy things you don't need. It's not true. And if you've been chasing that myth, you're wasting your energy on the wrong scoreboard. You want to know what actually makes a woman lean in. It's not the inches, it's the energy. It's the way you walk into a room and carry yourself. It's the look in your eyes that says you are grounded in who you are. It's the way you make her feel safe. Not just safe from danger, but safe from judgment. Because when she feels safe, she'll give you parts of her heart and mind that no one else has seen. That's the kind of intimacy that blows anything physical out of the water. Here's what I've learned. You can have the so-called perfect body part according to whatever nonsense metric the internet is using this week. But if you're needy, arrogant, distracted, or self-absorbed, it doesn't matter. You could be sculpted like a Greek statue and still leave her cold. But if you're present, if you actually listen when she talks, not waiting for your turn but hearing her because you care. If you're confident enough to be playful and vulnerable, that's when she sees you. That's when she remembers you. And let's be clear, confidence is not the same thing as swagger. Swagger is a mask. Confidence is knowing who you are, flaws and all, and not needing to apologize for it. When you can be fully yourself, you give her permission to do the same. And that is electric. Because most people, not just women, but everyone, are starving for someone real. I'll tell you what women remember. Not the exact size, but the way you made them laugh so hard they forgot what was bothering them. Not the number of times you were together, but the way you looked at them like they were the only person in the room. Not the moves you learned from some online list, but the moments where you were so connected you both forgot where you ended and the other began. This is why the best penis in the world isn't about anatomy. It's about the man it's attached to. It's about character, presence, respect, and the ability to make her feel seen. It's about being strong enough to protect her but soft enough to hold her when she needs to fall apart. It's about bringing your whole self to the moment, not just your body. So here's your challenge. Stop wasting your time obsessing over something you can measure with a ruler. Start working on the things you measure with your actions, your words, and your integrity. Start paying attention. Start showing up. Start listening. Because in the end, the physical part is just the door. It's what's behind it that makes her stay. And if you get that part right, that's the one she'll never forget. When people talk about attraction, they often skip over the one factor that actually changes everything: safety. And I'm not just talking about walking someone to their car at night or locking the doors. I'm talking about the kind of safety that allows another human being to exhale when they're with you. Safety that tells her, in the smallest, most invisible ways, you're okay here. You don't have to perform. You don't have to watch your back. You can put your guard down. That kind of safety isn't obvious like muscles or a good haircut, but it's magnetic. It's the thing that quietly turns "I like you" into "I trust you," and once trust enters the picture, everything changes. Emotional safety is created in the way you listen without trying to fix or dismiss what she says. It's in the way you don't make her feel like she's being judged when she shares something personal. It's in the small cues you give off that say you're not going to use her words against her later. You're not going to laugh at her vulnerability. You're not going to make her regret opening up. People can feel that kind of energy instantly, even if they can't articulate why they feel drawn to it. And women, in particular, are constantly scanning for it, because experience has taught them that it's not always guaranteed. Safety shows up in how you handle conflict. When you can disagree without raising your voice, without belittling, without threatening to leave the second things get hard, you build the kind of environment where real intimacy can grow. When she knows you can stay calm when she's upset, you become someone she can trust with her raw emotions. You're not just a partner, you're a safe harbor. In a world where most people feel like they have to keep their armor on, being with someone who lets them set it down is rare, and rare is attractive. It also comes through in your body language. Crossing your arms, rolling your eyes, looking at your phone while she's speaking. Those little moments can chip away at a sense of safety without you even realizing it. But maintaining eye contact, nodding when she's talking, leaning in instead of away, those things send the message that you're fully present. Presence is safety, distraction is danger. When you give someone your undivided attention, even for a short period of time, you're telling them they matter, and mattering is one of the most powerful feelings a person can have. Safety is not about never challenging her or always agreeing. In fact, fake agreement can feel just as unsafe because it's dishonest. Safety comes from knowing that even if you disagree, you will still respect her, and the connection will not be threatened by the disagreement. This requires emotional maturity, the ability to separate, "I don't like what you said," from, "I don't like you." That separation creates space where two people can be real with each other, and realness is where attraction thrives. It's also about consistency. If you're warm and attentive one day, then cold and withdrawn the next without explanation, you create an environment of uncertainty. Uncertainty breeds anxiety, and anxiety kills attraction. But when you show up consistently, when your words match your actions, when you're predictable in the best way, not boring, but reliable, you're giving her the foundation she needs to actually relax into the relationship. Think about it. You can't truly enjoy a view when you're worried the ground under you might collapse. The same is true in human connection. Safety is built in small, everyday moments, not grand gestures. It's remembering details she told you, respecting her boundaries without her having to repeat them, keeping your word even in little things. It's following through when you say, "I'll call you tomorrow," instead of making her chase you for attention. Each of these moments is like putting another brick in a wall that protects her from doubt. And the higher that wall of trust gets, the more freely she can let herself enjoy you, both emotionally and physically. There's also a self-safety component. If you don't feel safe in yourself, if you're volatile, self-destructive, dishonest with yourself, it's almost impossible to create safety for someone else. People pick up on internal instability, and it makes them cautious. But when you've done your own work, when you've faced your insecurities and learned to manage your impulses, you radiate stability. Stability doesn't mean dullness. It means you can be adventurous without being reckless, passionate without being dangerous, spontaneous without being careless. That balance is rare, and because it's rare, it's deeply appealing. When you create safety, you're not just making someone feel good in the moment. You're making it possible for her to bring her whole self into the connection, the parts she's proud of and the parts she hides from most people. That's the real intimacy most people are chasing, whether they realize it or not. And the truth is, once someone has experienced that with you, it's very hard for them to forget it. When people think about attraction or intimacy, they often get stuck on the visual and the physical, the things you can see, touch, measure. But the truth is, what stays in someone's mind long after the moment has passed is the connection. It's not the exact position, the perfect lighting, or the technical precision of anything you did. It's the feeling you created in that space together. Women remember the way you made them laugh so hard they couldn't catch their breath. They remember the way you noticed the small details about them that no one else seemed to notice. They remember how you looked at them like they were the only person in the room, even if you were surrounded by a crowd. Those moments register on a level that's far deeper than the physical, and that's why they last. When you connect with someone, you're communicating far beyond words. Your tone, your timing, your willingness to be present without rushing ahead, all of those things tell her whether you're really there or just going through the motions. Connection can't be faked, because it requires attention. And in a world where most people are distracted, half listening, or mentally checking their phones, undivided attention is magnetic. If she feels like she's the only thing in your focus, she remembers that. Not because it's flashy, but because it's rare. The little things you do in those moments can carry far more weight than grand gestures. Holding her gaze without breaking it when she's telling you something personal. Reaching out to touch her hand at the exact moment she feels uncertain. Asking a question that shows you actually heard what she said, not just the surface of it but the meaning behind it. These aren't skills you memorize from a manual, they're the natural byproducts of genuinely wanting to understand someone. When you do that, you create an emotional imprint, and that's what lingers long after the physical fades. Think about the people who have stuck in your own memory. Chances are, it's not because of anything they physically gave you or did to you. It's because of the way they made you feel in their presence. Maybe they made you feel lighter, braver, calmer, or more alive. That's what connection does. It shifts your emotional state in a way you can't fully explain, but you can't forget either. When you create that shift for someone else, you become part of their internal landscape, and that's far more powerful than any physical perfection you could offer. Connection is also about vulnerability. You can't expect someone to open up to you if you're always keeping your guard up. When you allow yourself to be seen, flaws, fears, insecurities and all, you make it safe for her to do the same. And when two people meet in that place of mutual openness, the bond is unforgettable. That doesn't mean unloading all your baggage at once or demanding she do the same. It means creating moments where honesty feels natural, where sharing is not a risk but a relief. It's in the shared jokes no one else understands, the conversations that stretch late into the night without you realizing how much time has passed, the comfortable silences where no one feels the need to fill the air just to avoid awkwardness. Those moments are evidence of real connection, because they're built on more than just attraction, they're built on mutual recognition. She sees you, you see her, and in that space, nothing else matters. And it's not just about what you do when you're together, but also how you make her feel when you're apart. If she hears a song and it makes her think of you, if she passes a place and remembers a story you told, if she finds herself smiling at a memory of something you said, that's the echo of connection. It's the invisible thread that keeps you in her thoughts without you having to be physically there. That thread doesn't come from surface-level interaction. It comes from moments where you were fully engaged, fully present, and fully invested in who she is as a person. This is why connection outlasts everything else. Looks change, bodies change, circumstances change. But the way you made someone feel in your presence becomes part of how they remember you. And for most women, that's what they carry with them, not the exact sequence of events, not the technical skill you think you impressed them with, but the emotional experience you created together. That's the part that doesn't fade.